welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Carly and I am a homeschooling mom to 3 boys, ages 11, 9, and 6. And today I just wanted to show you some extra resources that I have found that we love in our homeschool and are currently using to go along with our 50 states history curriculum that we are currently using. We started it last school year and we are slowly making our way through it. We're working on it in the summer as well. So I will go more into depth about what we're doing for our history, especially going into the 2024-2025 school year in the fall. But I will show you the one we're using, which is Our 50 States by Noggins, which we've really loved. It's a literature-based program. And I'm going to do a separate video on our history and our science that we're going to be doing in the fall. But I figured I'd show you what personally we are using. But I think that most of these resources today could go along with any 50 states curriculum that you plan to use in your homeschool. They definitely do not have to go along with the Noggins curriculum. So with that being said, let's jump into it. The first thing, now I will say, if you do a 50 states curriculum or any history curriculum, just know that you don't have to supplement with extra stuff, games or books or anything like that. Like if you are like, I just want to do the curriculum and that's all I have the bandwidth for, then great, you're doing awesome. But if you want to add in some fun things or just some supplemental things to add to what, just the basic curriculum, then that's what this stuff is here for. It's just a suggestion and things that we found make it exciting, make it easier to take on the road, things of that nature. So the first thing I'm going to show you is just some games that we've picked up. I will try and link as many as I can down below. I know I can probably find most of them on Amazon. Some of these things like I've found at garage sales or I've thrifted or I've ordered new. So I definitely think most of these things can still be found if you do a little digging. So the first thing that I wanted to show you is United States Geography Bingo. And this one is a lot of fun and my 6-year-old especially likes this one because bingo is fun, especially when you're younger. Like it's a fun little activity. And it's a little bit challenging, but there's a lot of pictures. So this one is something that we pull out over and over again. And I think even when we finish our curriculum, he'll still enjoy playing this. The next game is, and I've shared these before, we love these, is Guess in 10 States of America. This one, as you can see its size, if you're familiar with Guess in 10, is a great game to take on the road if you're like us and you love to travel during the school year and you don't particularly want to bring your curriculum, but you want to keep your kids like learning about the particular topic for history or social studies. This is a great one because even if you're flying, you can put it in a carry-on or your bag and it doesn't take up a ton of room. So with that being said, I have 2 other small ones that might be good if you're traveling. Is the Professor Noggins Geography of the United States card game. This one's a lot of fun and I love all the Professor Noggin games. They are wonderful. And then I just picked this one up. I think it was like at a local gift shop. We went to a museum and I thought it looked fun. So we actually haven't played this one yet, but it's Crazy States card game. And so I thought we were actually leaving to go on a road trip to Colorado. And so I think I'll bring this one along and try it out and see what we think of it. And then another game, which you've probably heard of if you've been homeschooling for any length of time, is the Scrambled States of America game. And this one is the Whimsical Mad Dashing Geography game. So this one is for 8 and up, but I have found that with help, my 6-year-old can play most of these games. And then the last one, which is super, super fun, is Race Across the U.S.A. game. And we will play this like after dinner some nights when my husband is home, so he can be involved in it as well. And this one is by Scholastic, and it's also ages 8 and up, but my 6-year-old again can play it as long as he has like a partner and a little bit of help. So those are some games if you're planning on doing 50 states as your social studies this year. So then I wanted to show you a couple different like activity books or resource books that I like. So this one is really cool, U.S.A. Sacremento, and my sister-in-law actually gave me this one. And basically what it is it gives you a little bit of information about each state, but it also gives you a good little like saying on how to remember capitals with states. So like for Mississippi, for example, Jackson, Mississippi, it says the Jack's son misses a sip of tea. So the idea is that Jackson, Mississippi, so the Jack's son misses a sip of tea, so you'd remember Jackson, Mississippi, and it does it for all of the different states. And it seems silly, but it works. Like my kids are doing really well at remembering the capitals with the states. So I think it's, you know, anything silly you can incorporate into your homeschool is always a win in my book. So yeah, this is a really great book and it doesn't take up a ton of space. And then I do have these for my younger two, Animals of the U.S.A. activity books. And these ones I got on Amazon and they haven't finished them yet, but they just make it fun. Like some of the things that we're doing in our like workbooks are not always necessarily age appropriate for my youngest son. So we can go ahead and like pick out different activities for him to work on while his brothers do some of their like the work that's a little bit harder that goes with our curriculum. And I did pick up 2 of these because sometimes my other boys will want to do a page as well. So those are fun. I will put a link down below to those as well. Again, those might be something like if you don't want to bring your curriculum with you and you're going on vacation, grab some of those and they're still working on learning something without having to lug a bunch of like textbooks or things of that nature. It always makes it fun to do something different when you're traveling. Also, I forgot, they do have it over here, is this puzzle. And this one is pretty cool because we do have some other United States puzzles, but the reason I like this one is by Melissa and Doug, which even my older boys still use this, and so it will talk.
Alaska, capital, Juneau.
I don't know if you heard that, but so when you put the puzzle piece in, it tells you the state and then it tells you its capital. So they will play around with this, and I think it's definitely been helpful to just remember the state capitals. So the last pile I want to show you is just some more like books, resource books or read aloud books, different things that you can incorporate during maybe your morning basket time or just any time to kind of reinforce the information that you're learning while you're doing the 50 states. And so the first one is History Uncovered, the U.S.A. And so it discover our country's history layer by layer. And so it does give more like, I think this would probably work too as if you're doing like history of the U.S. As the cover says. But I think it's nice because it also does like kind of show you like the map and where different things have happened. So you could incorporate it into your, 50 states curriculum if you wanted to. It's just really up to you, like when you would want to use it. Sometimes I will just lay these out during our read aloud time and my kids will flip through them, or during our quiet time and just kind of like ask questions or read it, independently, and it just builds on their knowledge of the United States. And another one that we have is, of course, it's so nice to have an atlas. The curriculum book that we have does have a map in the front of it that we reference a lot, and we have a map on our wall that we use, but it's so nice to have an atlas and for kids to get like used to using an atlas and like being able to look at like different cities and towns. And so this is really nice too, like if you're driving or traveling, they can like look at where they're driving within that state, which makes it a lot of fun. So I would recommend an atlas. It doesn't have to be this one. This one's the National Geographic Kids one. It is nice to have a kids one. I think it's just more user-friendly for younger kiddos, but if you have you know, kids that are starting to get a little older, maybe you would get an adult version for them. Another thing that I have is state capitals. So explore the capital cities of our 50 states. So obviously in some of the other resources that I had showed you for learning state capitals, it doesn't go into a lot of detail about like the information of the capital. So this one will give you, you know, a little bit more about each capital. And it isn't like a ton of information, but it does make it fun and interesting to learn about that area. And then I do have I don't know if you're familiar with the Shine a Light books by Usborne, which I believe is Paper Pie now, but Wonders of the U.S.A. So it goes through a bunch of different, like, very, you know, notable places in the U.S. And the cool thing about these, and this one is particularly a win for like my 6-year-old, is you shine a flashlight like underneath of it and different pictures will show through. So it makes it like very engaging and hands-on. So I definitely recommend this specifically for if you have younger kiddos. And we have quite a few of those Shine the Light books. I was actually thinking about doing a video where I go around and show you how we organize all of our different resource books and homeschool curriculum. So if that's something that you'd want to see, definitely comment down below and I will for sure do a video of that as well. So the last 3 resources I have are, I always like to incorporate poetry, usually into like my gather round or morning basket time. And so I loved this when I found it. It's called My America, a Poetry Atlas of the United States. And it's just got very simple poems, but beautiful illustrations. And my kids like flipping through this and I like it as well. So it's a great way to incorporate some poetry into your curriculum. The Knotgrass 50 States curriculum that we use does also incorporate songs. So for each state, they have a playlist of songs that were written for that particular state. So that's adds a little extra fun as well. And then the last 2 things are not specific to 50 states, but I think they're definitely resources that you could use while you're talking about the 50 states. And they're just really simple resources. Are Geography from A to Z, a picture glossary. So this one basically explains like all the different geography terminology in a very easy to like read and understand way. So I've really enjoyed this one, and I think it's good for all 3 of my boys. And then the last one is actually a Reading Rainbow book. If any of you remember Reading Rainbow like I do, I was excited to find this. I think I thrifted this one, and this one is Maps and Globes. And again, it gives you, it's just basic. So definitely if you have like, you know, middle schoolers up, they may not be as interested in this, but I would say even my like 11, almost 12-year-old still really enjoys reading through this book because it gives you the terminology that you need in a basic, easy to learn way, without a lot of like extra like things thrown in there. So those are all of our current resources that we're using to supplement our 50 states curriculum. Obviously, we don't use all of them every day. We just pull them out as we have time, or I'll lay them out again for like quiet time or read aloud time because my kids like to flip through books while I'm doing read aloud. And it's always fun like on Fridays to throw a game into our curriculum, so it keeps things fun and interesting. So I hope that this was helpful. And maybe you saw something that you thought maybe you could add to your own homeschool. And as always, thank you so much for stopping by, and I'll see you in my next video. Thanks, bye.